All right, how's it going, you guys? It's Antoni here. In today's video, I have Bruce, and he's going to be telling us how he was able to purchase a house and not just get it for free, but get paid $100,000 to do so. So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. I worked in wealth management for about 10 years, and then I recently quit my job at the beginning of the year to pursue full-time in real estate because there's just so much opportunity. One of the examples is the project that we'll be talking about today.
Nice. So he purchased the house in Redwood City, and it cost them a total of $1 million. But besides that, I don't know much. I'm going to have him walk us through pretty much the whole process right now.
Sure. Awesome. So we found a house directly from the seller. It was $1 million because it was a hoarder house. It was a duplex. When we first walked into the house, there was trash from the floor to the ceiling. In the hallway, there was 3 refrigerators, unplugged, with food inside of it. So we were extremely scared to even walk into the house because the smell of it was just excruciating. So we actually purchased a property without even walking through the place.
Oh, man.
Right, yeah. So it took us about $10,000 just to clear out the trash. Right.
Was that the cost of hiring help, or was that the cost of the trash cans mostly?
Yeah.
Because those things cost a lot to rent.
Exactly. It's about $800 just to have it delivered and then towed away. We cleared out most of it. We wore hazmat suits and everything. So it was a good experience. We tried to do as much as we can by ourselves, and then we hired contractors to come in to do the experience work, right? Anybody can clear out some trash.
Okay, and then I saw that you were inviting, like friends and family members over to come and help you guys. And
Yeah.
So for this project, was it mostly just you and a few guys from your team, or did you invite friends, family over? Who was helping you guys clear it out?
Absolutely. Free labor is always great, right? So it's kind of the same as, you're putting together a bed or something that you didn't want to do. You invite everybody over to your house for a barbecue, and hey, since you're here, might as well pick up a hammer. Might as well pick up some trash, right? So it wasn't quite like that, but everybody wants to be a part of something, right? And then so we invite people over to see the house to begin with, and then while we're there, we're actually just clearing out the place at the same time.
Yeah.
So people just want to lend a hand because they have some free time, and they'd love to be a part of something. So they help us clear out. And the thing is, those people always end up coming back to our meetups, and they are always interested in why we're doing the things that we're doing and how we're doing it, right? So that's kind of why this video came to be too. How are we doing this?
Okay. All right, so how were you guys able to find the lead for this place?
Yes, so we run a late night ad. It's called 1-800-BUY-QUICK. You can actually find that video on YouTube somewhere. I've only seen it one time. I don't stay up late nights. So the wife of the person who owns this house, they were going through a divorce, and she called us. And generally what we do in real estate is we help people out of their bad situations. So she called us, and we talked to her and talked her through our process. They decided to sell the house to us, and we came to an agreement, negotiated a price of about $1 million. And they were okay with that. We wrote a check to them. And that's pretty much it. We had a couple of issues after that still. The husband, unfortunately was addicted to meth, and he was staying in the house with his buddies and all the trash.
Oh, man.
So, there was a couple of times where he and his buddies would break into his old house. We had to even go in and board up the entire house so that they wouldn't be able to get in. So
after all, any problems with that since?
No, nothing, no problems with it since, because now they know they can't actually get in. All of the stuff is cleared out already, and they know that
There's
police,
nothing there for them.
Exactly. There's nothing to do there. There's nothing there. They can't get in easily. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. How were you guys able to basically figure out how much you were going to be willing to pay for this property, whether it was going to be $1 million versus $1,200,000, or what it was going to be?
Sure. So the area itself, we go off something called comps, right? So we look at the properties that have sold recently in the area, and what we think that particular property's value at in comparison to those. So we were seeing in the area that the properties were going for 1.5, 1.6. So we would assume that, hey, if we purchase this property and we add value into it, meaning we repair it, repairs estimate at that time were $200,000 to $300,000. So even if we add that, it would take us to 1.5 million. There's a lot of equity there. There's a lot of extra cash that we can pull out, right?
Yeah.
So we thought it was a good deal if we were able to purchase at $1 million. The homeowners at the time were like, oh no, we want more, but then we walked away because it's just so much work.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't going to get any other offers.
Yeah.
So they ended up selling it to us, and we fixed the house for about $300,000 after interest and everything. Now the house is worth 1.8 million, right? So there's a lot of value that we added there.
Nice. And since it cost you $1 million and you added the $800,000 worth of equity, how much money did you guys end up getting back from that?
Yeah, so I think that's the next phase. So we're doing a strategy called BRRRR. So BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent out, and then refinance, and then we can redo that whole process over again. So I think that's 4 R's, right? So what our plan is when we purchased it at such a low amount, and there's a ton of equity, right? We rehabbed it, so we put in $300,000. So essentially we paid $1 million for the house, added another $300,000 of our own money, right? Got the value of it to 1.8 million. And in California, and the banks will loan us up to 75% of the value of the home, wherever it appraises at. They do need to see some cash flow though, right? So after 6 months of renting it out, which we rent out each of the rooms. So when I said that we add value, the original house was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We changed it into a 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom. We all actually have a YouTube video out there on it, and the Redwood City permitting guys, they saw the video and they did a surprise inspection on us. just because they got so much attention, right? So that was pretty interesting, and they actually loved what we were doing because we were solving an issue that they're having. People with homes, there's a huge issue. In San Francisco, there's a huge homeless population.
Yeah.
Right. So they came over, they took a look at the place, they're like, we love this. Keep going. All right, cool.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so I guess where were we on this whole thing up?
Yeah, so
where were we?
How many views were you able to get on that one?
On that one, I don't really look at the views. I think you pay attention to a lot more of the views, but I think what might have happened was everybody was sharing it, right, with their groups. In local areas. It's like, hey, is this legal? Right? And it got the attention of Redwood City planning.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so what was the bank and everybody appraising it at before versus after, and how much did that leave you with the BRRRR method to get money out of it? Right.
So I guess going back to the BRRRR method, right? We're actually going to be renting out each of the bedrooms for $1,500 to $2,000 in rent, right, per month, just per room. So think about that, 10 times that. Yeah. Right. So anywhere from between $15,000 to $20,000 in income is coming in. So it's huge. A mortgage, $1 million mortgage, right, is $5,000. Right, so think about that. We are covering the mortgage with the income, right? And so when the bank sees that, they're going to loan us up to 75% loan to value of the home. So if we estimate $1.8 to $2 million on a home, once we get it appraised 6 months down the road, they're going to be like, oh, he can take out $1.5 million, right? $1.5 million. So we put in $1 million and then $300,000 in repairs. And the bank's going to loan us $1.5 million tax free. So essentially we're going to get $200K back from the bank.
Nice.
Tax free, right? If we were to flip it, right, we would get what? So it'd be 1.3 is what we paid for it, and then it'd be worth $2 million, right?
Nice.
So we would get $600K in profit. But then 40%,
you would have the capital gains tax,
exactly,
which would be 10 to 37%. So
huge, right? Yeah. So might as well we continue renting it out. We cash flow, right? We get depreciation. It's another tax benefit. And then also on top of that, now the house pays for itself. What else more can you ask for, really?
And the value might appreciate, and you might end up being able to sell it down the road after the year without that 10 to 30% fee.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah. So this particular property we want to keep forever because what we want. I mean, you're a young guy, right? How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. I'm 32, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of my friends that are starting to have families, they're planning on moving away. I don't want my friends to move away. I want them to stay in the Bay Area.
So you have enough rooms for them.
Exactly. Well, that's one thing. But, if we can find a way for them to live for free right here and raise a family, why not? Because we live in a city. Let's face it. If we become like New York, mm-hmm. right, they're going to have real big parks, but they live, in small apartments, right? They have whole families there. So what if we are able to find homes for you, for all of our friends, and they're able to cash flow the property out and live for free, essentially? That's kind of like why we're doing this.
Nice.
Right? And we actually have 3 properties that are exactly like that. Right? So my friend, one of my best friends, I met him in the Boy Scouts. He actually lives in that house free of charge now. He's going to manage the whole thing.
Nice.
Right? So, yeah. So that's what we want to do for people, and we want to spread that message.
Nice. So the bank is loaning you that $1.5 million that you're going to be able to use to go leverage purchasing different properties?
Another property, yes.
Nice. So when you guys first started, how were you financing that first 90% or whatever you had to do, or, depending on the size of the property? Were you getting the bank to cover that with an FHA loan, or?
Yeah, so great question. So conventional banks really, the conventional process is pretty long, right? You have to wait a whole month, get all the paperwork, get your W-2s. We actually use something called hard money, which lends us up to 90% of the value of the home, right? And so we have a really good relationship with our hard money lender, which is Coventus. So give them a good shout out, right? And our loan officer's name is Brenda. And she actually helps us. We have a really good relationship. We've done plenty of deals with them. And they really loan that money out in the percentages that they charge based off your experience, right? So a new, flipper or real estate investor, they would loan out money at like 12%.
Yeah.
But we get it about 8% roughly. You pay a point on it, right? So that's how we get most of that $1 million, right? And then the other $100,000 that we got, it was our own capital in this one, right? Okay. But we're open to partnering up with other people. If they say, hey, Bruce, I want a house for myself, right? If they come up with $100K and we can find that property, we'll partner together to see what that's going to look like.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And for that, are you figuring out on a case-by-case basis your guys' finder's fee and everything and management of the deal? Or do you have kind of like a set thing where you're going to be like, all right, 60-40 split based on if you're bringing the capital and we're bringing the game?
Yeah, we do have a kind of a structure, but everything's negotiable in real estate, really. So, if they have experience in construction or they have, a general contractor that they have
something else to the table.
Exactly. It's all negotiable, right? So personally, we want to keep as much equity because we're helping people, right? Yeah. We're not asking for anything, right? And then our primary skill is to find those deals, right? At this point, we have more deals than we know what to do with, right? So it's a good problem to have, right? So the other as we grow, we're coming up against a challenge of, hey, where can we find more money, right? And that's kind of where we met. We were at the Real Estate Investment Expo, and I was there kind of saying, hey, I need to find more investors to help us fund these deals. Right, and then we want to help them live for free. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that about sums up everything. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. Thanks for coming, Bruce, and we'll see you guys in the next video.